Exar Kun, a name that echoes through the halls of the Sith. As both innovator and destroyer, his mastery of the Force was unparalleled, but it was his mastery of the lightsaber that made him truly unique. A combination of deadly precision, unorthodox tactics, and pure, unrelenting aggression. Kun's foundation lay in Form 6 Nyman, often called the Diplomat's form. This style is heavily criticized by many for its lack of specialization, but Exar Kun saw this as a canvas for his creativity. Where others saw moderation, he saw opportunity. Nyman's integration of Forms 1 through 5 gave him an unprecedented level of versatility, blending speed, agility, and power all into a fluid and adaptive style. But Exar Kun was no ordinary practitioner. He didn't just use Nyman, he transformed it entirely. Exar combined the dual-wielding potential of Nyman with the chaotic ferocity of Form 7 Juyo. Juya as a form is wild, unpredictable aggression, and Kun wielded it with terrifying precision that was not common for the form. He replaced Nyman's calm balance with a relentless onslaught, striking fear into his enemies and overwhelming even the most skilled opponents. To Exar, this was to face a storm, calculated yet frenzied, adaptable yet brutally unrelenting. Exar's weapon itself was a testament to his ingenuity. Unlike Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber, which housed two distinct sets of components, Exar Kun's weapon was an elegant, compact design. By adding a second emitter to the pommel, he created a double-bladed lightsaber only marginally longer than a standard hilt. But this simplicity masked its true complexity. Exar Kun's lightsaber operated on a single set of blue crystals, making it lighter, faster, and more responsive. Maul's weapon may have been iconic, but it was merely an imitation, a tribute to Exar Kun's original innovation. Exar Kun's mastery of Jar Kai, the art of dual wielding, made him even more unpredictable than his weapon did, if that's even possible. He could wield it as if it were two separate weapons, transitioning seamlessly between 1 to 2 blades in the midst of battle. Sometimes he would engage with only one blade activated, lulling his opponent into a false sense of security. At the precise moment of opportunity, he would ignite the secondary blade, turning the tide of the fight in an instant. Adding to his arsenal, Exar Kun also capitalized on the fact that he could alter his blade length mid-combat, a tactic designed to keep enemies guessing and unbalanced, to catch them off guard. In combat, Exar Kun was a master of deception and then dominance. He first revealed his true potential of his weapon during his infamous duel with Master Vodo Sios Boss within the Galactic Senate. At first, Exar Kun fought with restraint of a single blade, testing his opponent. But when the moment was right, he unleashed the secondary blade, overwhelming Boss and showcasing his weapon's devastating power. Exar Kun's approach to lightsaber combat exemplifies the dark side's capacity for corruption and creativity. He took the foundation of Nyman, a form dismissed by many as uninspired, and he elevated it to a deadly art. Through dedication to the subtleties of the art, he achieved a level of mastery that few have ever attained. His speed, agility, and power are unparalleled, blending offense and defense in a way that made him nearly unstoppable. It is important to remember that Nyman's reputation as a weak lightsaber form is the result of its misuse by practitioners who have failed to dedicate themselves to its intricacies. Most Jedi who wield Nyman lack the discipline to fully realize its potential, but Exar Kun was different. By combining Nyman with the sheer aggression of Juyo and the precision of Jar Kai, he became the embodiment of versatility and lethality, a living weapon honed to perfection. Exar Kun didn't just fight with a lightsaber, he redefined what it meant to use one. His combination of forms and specializations made him one of the deadliest duelists in galactic history. He was more than a Sith Lord, he was an artist of destruction. Exar Kun, a name that inspires fear and respect. A reminder of what the dark side can create when wielded by a true master, a diplomat of death, a warrior with no equal. Exar Kun was not just a master of the double-bladed lightsaber, he was its creator, its innovator, and its greatest wielder. He achieved what many thought to be impossible, the fusion of two blades into a compact, elegant hilt that required not only exceptional skill, but also an unorthodox approach to combat. His innovation transcended the weapon itself, reshaping the way lightsaber combat was understood and practiced. The weapon, compact, complex, revolutionary. Before Exar, the double-bladed lightsaber was an idea without a champion, a theoretical design dismissed as impractical or overly cumbersome. But Exar's ingenuity brought it to life. Unlike later iterations such as Darth Maul's elongated pommel-to-pommel saber staff, Exar Kun's design was compact and efficient. By adding a second emitter to the pommel of a traditional hilt and running both blades through a single set of blue crystals, he created a weapon that was only marginally longer than a standard lightsaber hilt. This compact design allowed for greater maneuverability and precision while still delivering the lethality of 2 blades. It was a weapon that demanded perfection. The compact hilt offered less margin for error than the longer designs of later users. Missteps would mean striking oneself with the blade, leaving critical openings in defense. Exar Kun not only mastered these challenges, but he turned them into strengths. He wielded it with fluidity and control that no one has ever matched, proving that it wasn't the weapon's complexity that limited its potential, it was the wielder's dedication. The form, a new style for a new weapon. The double-bladed lightsaber was more than a weapon. It was a call to reinvent combat itself. Existing lightsaber forms were designed for single-bladed weapons, making them ill-suited to the demands of a dual blade. Exar responded to this challenge by developing a unique hybrid fighting style that combined the adaptability of Form 6, the ferocity of Form 7, and the dual wielding of Jar Kai, a variation of 6, Nyman as a foundation. Exar Kun's foundation in Nyman allowed him to integrate elements from all prior lightsaber forms. Its versatility gave him the flexibility to adapt to any opponent, blending offense and defense seamlessly. But Exar took Nyman further than anyone before or maybe since, replacing its trademark moderation with an unhinged aggression, Juyo's chaos and precision. Juyo's unpredictable, ferocious strikes became a core element of Exar's style. While Nyman allowed him to adapt, Juyo allowed him to dominate. The combination was devastating. When Nyman brought balance, Juyo brought raw power, creating a style that has been described as calculated and chaotic. Jar Kai's dual-wielding influence. Exar Kun's mastery of Jar Kai enhanced his control over the double-bladed weapon. He treated the weapon as if it were 2 separate blades, using one for offense and the other for defense or feints. His ability to deactivate or reactivate one or both blades mid-combat added a layer of unpredictability, making him almost impossible to anticipate. A weapon for the ages, a master for eternity. Exar's innovation was not just in creating the double-bladed lightsaber, it was in proving that such a weapon could be wielded with unparalleled skill. His design and combat style set the standard that remains unmatched, even in a galaxy where the weapon has a very long history now. Darth Maul, one of the most famous users of the double-bladed lightsaber, was a mere imitator compared to Exar. While Maul's saber staff was functional and extremely deadly, it lacked the elegance and complexity of Exar's original design. Maul's combat style, while impressive, relied on brute force and acrobatics, where Exar's style was a blend of grace, precision, adaptability. To this day, Exar Kun remains the greatest wielder of the double-bladed lightsaber. He was more than a Sith, he was a revolutionary, reshaping the galaxy's understanding of both the weapon and Six as a form. His mastery of the double-bladed lightsaber is a testament to his genius. He didn't just invent a weapon, he pioneered a style that pushed the boundaries of lightsaber combat. A weapon demanded perfection from him, and he rose to the challenge, becoming an undisputed master. The fact that Exar Kun is the inventor of the double-bladed lightsaber and still its greatest wielder speaks to his unparalleled skill and vision. In a galaxy filled with legends, Exar Kun stands apart, not only a Sith Lord but a true innovator, whose brilliance and mastery shaped the destiny of the entire galaxy. Exar Kun transcended the constraints of any single form. He blurred the lines of traditional combat, making him a duelist who could adapt to and overwhelm any opponent. Some may even suggest that Exar Kun had moved beyond lightsaber forms altogether, his style a synthesis of discipline, chaos, and raw genius, crafted not by adhering to the rules of the Jedi or the Sith, but by making his own. Exar Kun loved his weapon for the simple fact that it was not forgiving. Its complexity required flawless control, razor-sharp reflexes, and split-second decision-making, and Exar Kun thrived in this state of constant pressure. For him, perfection was not an ideal, but a necessity. He could not afford mistakes. To be Sith is to court death, and Exar Kun embraced that truth fully. But Exar Kun was not merely courting death, he was defying it. His combat style pushed the boundaries of possibility. He wielded his double-bladed lightsaber with such mastery that it became an extension of his will, a tool of chaos and order with no equal measure. He innovated where others conformed, discarding the traditions of the Jedi and the predictable structures of lightsaber combat. He reinvented what it means to fight, to dominate, to survive. Exar Kun's mastery was so complete that he was never bested in single combat. His only recorded match was a stalemate against Ulic Qel-Droma, one of the greatest duelists of his era, and a formidable Sith himself. Even here, Exar Kun proved his absolute equal. But to Exar, this was not about victory or defeat. It was about breaking limitations, reshaping the nature of combat. Many say that Nyman is a form designed to compromise, a blend of forms 1 through 5 with no singular strength in its entirety. It is described as the diplomat's form, emphasizing balance and adaptability. But this very balance is viewed as mediocrity. It lacks the raw power of Gemso, the relentless aggression of Juyo, or the elegant precision of Makashi. In truth, it is said that Nyman has no real strengths, a weakness inherent to its very philosophy. Yet, in this supposed weakness lies a hidden potential, one so rarely realized that it is almost faded to myth. To most, Nyman is simply good enough, a jack of all trades that is easy to learn but nearly impossible to master. But who would ever try? That was not the point after all. To those precious few who dedicate themselves to its subtleties, who elevate its adaptability into a weapon of supreme versatility, Nyman becomes something greater, and no one embodies this more than Exar. Exar, without question, the greatest Nyman practitioner in the history of the galaxy. His mastery profound, complete. He transcended the limitations of the form, and through his innovation and relentless pursuit of perfection, he proved that Nyman, when taken to its peak, could rival and surpass the greatest of lightsaber combat styles. His seamless blend of Nyman's adaptability with the sheer ferocity of Juyo and the dual-wielding precision of Jar Kai has created a combat style that has both been unpredictable and unstoppable all at once. Only one other Sith in the galaxy's long history could even compare to Exar in the category of Nyman's mastery: Darth Krayt, the founder of the One Sith Order. Krayt too demonstrated the heights that could be reached by dedicating oneself to Form 6. Yet, even Krayt, with all of his power, could not match the innovation and mastery of Exar Kun. Exar's compact, double-bladed lightsaber, his ability to manipulate blade lengths, and his unmatched versatility set him apart as a true revolutionary of lightsaber combat. But mastery of Nyman is not just about technique, it is about overcoming the form's inherent flaws. Most of those who rely on Nyman fall victim to its lack of specialization, finding themselves outmatched by more focused forms and duels. This weakness is why so many Jedi who wielded Nyman fell during the Battle of Geonosis. It is a form for diplomats, for generalists, not for duelists. Yet, Exar Kun defied that expectation. He transformed Nyman from a balanced compromise to a lethal art, proving that its true strength lies in the wielder, not the form. In my belief, Nyman is indeed weaker than the specialized forms of others. It cannot match Makashi's elegance, Gemso's power, or Otaru's speed. But Exar Kun proved that mastery, true mastery of Nyman, elevates it to heights that rival or surpass those of any other form. Exar's adaptability, innovation, makes him a contender for the greatest duelist in all of Star Wars lore, period. Whether or not Exar is truly the greatest duelist is not for me to decide. That determination belongs to you, dear viewer. My role is merely to present the case, to show how a form widely considered the weakest became in the hands of Exar Kun, a weapon of unparalleled lethality and elegance. At its pinnacle, Nyman may be the greatest lightsaber form of all, but the path to mastery is so steep, and the mountaintop so narrow, that few ever stand atop it. Its strength lies in unparalleled versatility, requiring perfection in every aspect of combat: offense, defense, power, precision. For the rare few who achieve this mastery, Nyman transcends balance, becoming the ultimate lightsaber form. But thank you so much for sticking around the archives. If you want more deep dives into the epics of Star Wars lore, tips to sharpen your Jedi or your Sith skills, or just to duel with us in the comments, hit that subscribe button and join the archives today. May the Force be with you, or your chosen side guide you. I will see you in the next holocron.